10-second mark. I'm gonna edit the first 10 seconds out. I'm gonna cut it. Hey everybody, James back here with a new video. Like I said, I'm trying to make a video every single day until I make it to 100 videos. Whether that's one short, one long form video, or multiple long form videos, I just want to do 2 videos a day. This is an 11-minute clip about Tim Pool. So this should be quick and I should be able to get a few more videos out, which would be a great change of pace from the 30-40 minute videos that I make. So anyways, I hate Tim Pool's guts. Here's why. He's not somebody I would endorse violence against, or somebody that I would scream at if I ever had the chance to debate him. I would have a healthy discussion with the guy, but he's a fucking scumbag. Because let me tell you something, right-wing populism is just fascism. Tim Pool markets himself as some type of centrist libertarian guy who just wants everybody to have the same freedoms, but does nothing but defend fascism, defend white supremacy in America. He defends Proud Boys and insurrectionists, and and implicitly endorses hate against various minorities of people by trying to constantly discredit every movement for liberation, even for working class people, as being identity politics. It's long behold us that you gotta watch yourself. And I got a lot to say about this guy. Don't fall for the trap of fake populism. Fake populism, when people are going around saying that I care about economic inequality 1 second, but all their solutions are about stepping over and hurting other people that are basically living in the same situation that you are. You should question that person and what they're saying, because obviously they're wrong. We always need to keep the blame for how shit is in America right now, and it doesn't matter what your identity is right now. It's on big business, not some minority that's likely full of people struggling with the same problems in America. So also, I don't like Tim Pool because I'm a skateboarder. I've been skateboarding for 10 years, and I don't understand how you can be a skateboarder but somehow you come out the other end of skateboarding with far right wing political views. That just never really made sense to me. I'm gonna bump this up because the last recording I did was a little quiet, but I think Tim Pool be having okay audio. But let's see what this motherfucker got to say.
Nationalist populist, people who just said for the people, by the people, not the elite, the establishment, revolving door BS. And so
let's go back to the beginning. I want to be fair. I don't want to cut into people mid-sentence videos. I want to go back to the beginning and fairly listen to everything that this dude's about to say. I don't like to go back I'm gonna I just want to make sure I hear everything that he's gonna say. Really, computer?
Eventually Occupy got dominated by leftists. But a lot of the regular there was a lot of regular traditional liberal types, moderate lefty types.
I'm not going to cut this out of the video. This is some weird shit, so I can skip forward in the video, but I can't skip backwards to, give them a fair chance.
Well, not the elite, the establishment, revolving door BS. And so, you go from 2011, eventually Occupy got dominated by leftists. But a lot of the...
Yes, because economic populism is a left-wing ideology. It's a left-wing thing. You cannot economically help people if you're right wing. Not even working class white people are even hurt under this so-called right wing populism, which is just fascism. Because all this shit about individualism, all this shit about cutting social services and social safety nets, all this stuff about you work, sleep, die, you love to work, you love your job shit. That the anti-worker propaganda and pro-big business propaganda pushed by right-wing people hurts workers. Left-wing people seek to alleviate these ills, but the right wing seeks to reinforce them. That's why populist movements, at least worker populist movements, economic populist movements, are dominated by left wing people.
There was a lot of regular traditional liberal types, moderate lefty types. They flipped for Trump. So when you had this
because they were stupid.
Rising, sort of this emergence of these populists, and then it came to political candidates. Populist Bernie Sanders emerges, populist Donald Trump emerges. Well, guess what?
Social democracy or fascism.
I don't. There's a lot of words people use to describe him, but I think tough is probably a good one. You can call him stupid, small hand, orange face, or whatever. But the dude is stronger than these people on the left.
By what metric? By what metric is Trump a strong person? Whether we're talking physical strength, whether we're talking like grit and ability, because like the bastard can't take criticism. Anytime he's criticized and literally asks why he said certain things he said or why did he do certain things he folds over like a pussy every fucking time. From the Charlottesville neo-Nazi rally all the way up to the January 6th shit that he's questions on now, Trump cannot handle simple questions. And to the point where he wanted to ban and open up libel laws against certain news organizations that asked him actual tough questions. Even to the point where he coined the term fake news. I'm sure he's not the first person to say it, but he coined news organizations that criticize him as simply just being fake. And I think he's even taken it even further and said the media is the enemy of the people, a Nazi quote. So, strong. I don't really think so.
And so he gets knocked out. Donald Trump ends up winning.
Yes,
for whatever reason.
Tough personality that people naturally are kind of attracted to, but he also.
What are you talking about?
His anti-establishment more than anyone else. Even though sometimes he has people like John Bolton right next to him.
What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean by anti-establishment? I have an issue with people like this, especially this stupid motherfucker. This is what I'm talking about, like fake populism. This is a good video. This video is because I was scared when I was looking at videos I wanted to go over. This video is really fucking stupid, and it kind of encapsulates what I want to cover today. Today is fake populism day. What the fuck are you talking about? Because you notice that these people never talk about actual solutions to people's economic anxieties. Everything's about being against the establishments or exposing this, exposing that, exposing the other, exposing themselves probably sometimes to people. But point being, like Steven Crowder. But point being is that these people never have actual solutions to any of the economic problems that people are complaining about. And it's like I said, that's that false populism shit. How is Trump being president going to solve these problems? And what establishment is he standing against? He's an establishment candidate. A lot of people don't like that. But then again, if you want to view him as a not establishment candidate, being anti-establishment isn't always a good thing.
Not a smart move to do, but he's able to play up on his charisma, his personality, and when you truly go to one of his kind of talks, whenever he's doing one of his rallies.
What the fuck is being said here? Like, oh, I like Trump because he sounds good? Like, what about his actual policies? Let's talk about that. We're not going to do that, are we?
How he's up there in the moment and
he's
kind
a
of
comedian.
plays up to everyone.
He's funny.
He's funny.
He's funny. What about his what about his pop?
Talking about how Donald Trump came up with the term kung flu. And he was
what about
I'm not going to curse here, but
being racist against Asian people, trying to make them scapegoat for COVID? But okay.
Not because it's racially insensitive, but that's something I should say, not Donald Trump. Right?
Why would you? What the fuck? Like he's owning it. Like he's like I'm racist. I should be saying that, not Trump. This guy, dude, come on.
I give it up to him in that way, where he does represent this kind of anti-establishment.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by anti-establishment? Please.
They weren't afraid of him like they were of Sanders. Like Donald Trump put.
They were.
No, they weren't. Shut the fuck up. No. See, this is where we go to the fakeness that right-wing populism sells you. Looking at my wife text me, sorry. This fake fucking populism, this right-wing populism, it's, oh my god, my wife's distracting me. Shut up.
Now he's threatening to repeal Section 230 completely.
Oh, that's what we were talking about. This anti-establishment shit, how Trump was accepted, but Bernie Sanders wasn't, because being a left-wing person is not accepted. Even being a social democrat, which is moderate depending on who you're talking to, which is just a liberal depending on who you're talking to. These people are not accepted by the establishment because they actually want to fight for actual change. Bernie Sanders wanted life to actually get good and better. He wanted life to get better for Americans. Trump Right-wing populism does not seek to alleviate the economic ills or to challenge the hierarchy that we see in our country in any way. So in no way in fucking hell was Trump a challenge to the fucking status quo of liberalism to turn into fascism, but all the wealthy people didn't feel threatened by another wealthy billionaire becoming president because they knew that he was in their pockets. He's in his own fucking pocket because he's a selfish fucking buffoon. So he wasn't going to make any changes that actually help working people. It's a reason why in the Republican Party, people, because it's like, we both got our extremists on both sides of the aisle, I guess you can say. It's a reason why the Democrat Party doesn't accept social democrats easily. They barely want to do that. And they don't accept actual socialists. But the Republican Party will free and fairly accept fascists and neo-Nazis. Neo-Nazis, fascists, and people with these political views that are quote-unquote anti-establishment are not anti-establishment, ironically enough, because they seek to reinforce the hierarchies that we see.
Sanity. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing.
No, but you know what? I'm kind of digging it. You know why?
Well,
if the result is either if 230 got repealed, but he didn't reauthorize the NDAA, I would just be laughing the whole time. Now I'm concerned about our military personnel for sure.
Let me see something real fast, because this was a long time ago, and I don't remember exactly. What is this? Let's see. Oof. Whoops. Because I'm curious about this. So decency, which connect as part of that chain, provides meaning for online computer services, provides meaning liability for providers. I mean, I guess that did some good, because there's no fucking reason why YouTube should be directly responsible for Stefan Molyneux or some shit like that. I feel like these platforms should be free of responsibility, because they have their terms of service. They ban people as they can, and they shouldn't be responsible for the dumb shit that people say on their platforms. That's right. True.
But the things they stuff in that bill, the amount of money they waste, the no bid contracts. Trump's like, I'm not going to sign the NDA unless you repeal 230. I'm like, he's just going to blow it. He's blowing the whole thing up.
He won't sign the NDA.
It's him literally pointing the middle finger to the political establishment and the military-industrial complex. And it's hilarious.
I don't know much about the NDAA. I really don't. But
let me see something real fast, because I feel like this is something that was probably necessary too. Let me see something. NDAA. Prohibits purchase of covered from sale. Yeah. I wonder why exactly did he decide to not sign it. I need some details on that if anybody could send me anything ever. Because I feel like whenever Trump didn't sign or didn't want to sign something, it's always a caveat for, something that actually helps people. And I really don't, I really think that, I don't know, something just doesn't, it just seems off to me. Just because Trump is doing it.
So I would love to not refund it. It seems like a Patriot Act.
Well,
2.0.
it funds the military. It authorizes the expenses towards military, and we spend a ridiculous amount of money. I was reading, there's a tweet, Matt Taibbi tweeted something out saying that when you actually break down the costs, half of Republican...
that piece of shit, Matt Taibbi, but I really don't have no respect for this, because it's not cutting defense spending, it was just holding it up. So I really feel like at the end of the day, this was nothing. And to me, it has to be something else tied to Trump holding up defense spending. He wouldn't just do that.
Republicans agree. This is ridiculous. We're spending too much money. And I think the easiest way to put it is we're building roads in Afghanistan and Iraq, or we've been for 20 years, and it's kind of winding down, with Trump. Why are we doing that here? We're building infrastructure in other countries.
It's because of people like you, Tim. See, when American foreign policy seeks to commodify and control other countries, the way that they do it is by partially building up their infrastructure and investing in these countries. The reason why, because literally a couple of years after this video, we had a bill, the infrastructure project bill, and most Republicans voted against it. It's because every single time the Democrat Party or even some moderate Republicans try to vote for something good in this country, y'all say it's the authoritarian left Democrat evil people trying to force you to take free health care, better roads, and free Wi-Fi. That's why we didn't get it.
20 years of my life we've been doing this.
We need to get tanks from west to east over there.
Yeah, well, I had to drive down from upstate New York. Holy cow, that looked. Some places looked like Iraq down there. I mean,
the
with
wasteland,
the roads. Yeah, and I'm driving a trailer, so this thing's jumping up and down all the time. But the military-industrial complex does feed off the American people more than any kind of communist socialist leech out there. You want to talk about corporate wealth?
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Like the equivocation of not even the equivocation of, first of all, dude, nobody in this room understands what a socialist economy would even look like. You've never seen one before. There has not been like true socialism tried in our history yet. The Rohavans might just do it yet, but there has not been like actual socialist projects by people who are actually seeking to end class hierarchy. It hasn't been. The Soviet Union didn't do it. China didn't do it. Cuba did it a little bit. North Korea damn sure didn't do it. But most of these countries I've listed were just red fascist dictatorships, and we're equivocating the idea of a socialist economy or a social democratic economy, which is the best that the United States will probably get, with wealthy people in the defense industry suckling off our tax dollars. More power to you, man. Whatever.
Fair. Holy cow! When you look at
no
the military
bid contracts.
Yeah, no bid contracts. How can, where's the free market? Where's the capitalism when you have Lockheed Martin and Boeing literally siphoning up?
Whoa! Those companies are run by women, Luke. You're not a sexist, are you?
And the new LGBTQ.
They didn't just do this shit, bro. Like, hey. First of all, I really don't think that these companies are run by women. I highly fucking doubt it. But they're trying to weaponize. Like, look, dude. No, when the fuck has anybody ever said don't criticize a minority rich person, whether it's a woman, a black person, an LGBT identifying person, or even an immigrant, when they're benefiting from the economic exploitation of Americans? That's the reason why it's called anti-capitalism, not anti-capitalism, but if she's a woman, it's okay. Nobody fucking thinks like this, dude. You're in a fucking box by yourself. Nobody thinks like that, especially me. I regularly criticize black rich people. Fuck Dave Chappelle. Fuck Beyonce. Fuck 50 Cent. Fuck Ice Cube. Fuck Kanye West. Fuck any of them motherfuckers. Fuck them. So like this bullshit about nobody criticizes rich minorities. Like bro, you're looking at your own asshole, bro. Bottom down to the back like that. Like you're talking to nobody.
Friendly mainstream media approved groups.
They're gonna put rainbow. They're gonna put rainbow flags on Hellfire missiles. I'm not even. There's a photo of this. Like people were pointing it out. Like this is what their plan is. It's a.
Are you serious? So okay, we talk about cutting defense. See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like this fucking fake populism. So we go from talking about cutting defense spending and addressing the actual grievances that working class Americans got, and we somehow then came to, oh no, there's a woman and they're putting gay pride flags on. See, it's like these motherfuckers get you so fucking close, you're riled up. See, that's the problem, because it's like so many people out there that are looking for actual solutions to their problems, and then he wonder why Emma Vigeland said that his show is for Nazis, because in a sort of way he just did what Nazis do. Is that instead, because okay, we're talking about the military industrial complex, we're talking about globalism and how the war on terror is bankrupting the American people, taking our tax dollars, and then we somehow shunt that off to a woman being president of a defense contract company and then putting gay pride flags on missiles. Instead of talking about how we should reallocate those tax dollars back into the pockets of the American people. We find a way to market this against women and queer people. Alright, man.
It's a Reaper drone and they put the symbols on it, like that makes it okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Or Joe Biden's going to have fancy socks. That's what we're going to have with the mainstream media coming up in the next 4 years. Fancy Joe Biden socks. And look how great this person is drone bombing a wedding in Yemen. But they won't even talk about that, or how the United States is with Al Qaeda in Yemen. That's a whole other different
Donald Trump.
What are you talking
run
about?
Into a burning building to save a box of puppies, and they would criticize him for being reckless and endangering. Well, as much as we're critical of him, he is the president. This is extremely reckless. No matter what he does, it's bad. But Donald Trump literally killed American citizens.
What if he just stopped doing bad things? See, this is that bullshit, bro. I'm talking about more fake populism, more right-wing populism, trying to defend Donald Trump, or making up manufactured consent, making up scenarios that will never happen. Trump is too fucking selfish to run his punk ass into into a burning building to help anybody but him fucking self. Maybe he left his briefcase of money in there or something like that. Then he'll run in there. But he's complaining about Trump getting criticized, but it's Trump's fault. He can't stop fucking up. The reason why Trump is criticized so fucking much is because he's constantly in the middle of scandals, constantly making bad decisions, constantly doing the wrong fucking thing. And then when he's caught doing the wrong thing, he won't even admit that he's wrong. And then somehow that's everybody else's fault for criticizing the motherfucker. What are we supposed to do? So when it's like, my favorite thing that Trump fucked up on, right, is the Charlottesville thing. He said very fine people on both sides. So what are you supposed to just be like to me? I mean, not even just that, or endorsing the Proud Boys, stand back and stand by, or like, and it's like, the fucking the whole election fraud shit, like every step of the way up to him going to jail now. This dude, oh yeah, the shithole country's comment. He can't stop fucking up. That's y'all problem. Y'all need to go talk to him about the dumb shit he's saying instead of getting mad at us for criticizing him when he won't stop fucking up. That's him. Not the mainstream media. That's him. Nobody is forcing him to say these stupid things or make these dumb decisions like the Muslim ban. He constantly embroils himself in controversy trying to appeal to his fascistic audience. Doing something to hurt some minority, saying something disgraceful about some country, or berating women. He can't stop himself. And then when he's criticized, y'all want to act like it's everybody else. No, it's him. Tell your boy to get his act together and stop trying to blame everybody else for criticizing him. And before anybody asks, like, yeah, I can criticize Biden for his economic issues, but Biden doesn't go around saying that like, oh, racism is in the past, or very fine people on both sides, we don't need to do anything about Nazism in this country. Oh, Antifa's gonna come to your house and and do this and that to you. Joe Biden is not saying that. Trump is saying that. Joe Biden is not saying like a racist thing or something about some woman every other fucking day. Trump is.
Citizens. People don't know this. I rant as much as I can. I remember you asked. It was you. You asked, was it Charlie Gibbs?
Yeah, Obama's spokesperson and one of his top cabinet members, me and Sierra Adamson, during the presidential debates when Barack Obama was running against Mitt Romney, went up to him and we asked him a question that no one asked ever.
Why did you kill an American
citizen? Like, why did you? And this is important to understand here. Barack Obama physically signed off on every drone strike. Physically made the approval for sending out killer robots to drone bomb innocent people, 90% of which were found out, according to The Intercept, with the government documents that they were able to find, 90% of which were innocent civilians. So, when you have such an egregious case, especially with the case of a 16-year-old American citizen from Colorado that was assassinated under this deposition matrix. It's not
disposition.
Disposition matrix. They make up all
This
these
sounds
things
like
to
a
work
huge
for
fucking
this
bullshit
assassination
conspiracy
process.
theory.
It's
Let me
kills.
look this up, dude. Let me look this shit up. This sounds like bullshit. Obama drone strike. U.S. citizen. Maybe I should type conspiracy theory after it. Oh, it's actually real. Go figure that. Oof. It just looks like if you let's see. Father was alleged to be operationally located in the Arabian Peninsula and was killed by Syria Johnson later, also ordered 2 weeks prior to killing his son. This seems like to me, it's a case of somebody just being, let's see, Come is firing predator missiles at American citizens. Should the American pilot has not done a lot? Somebody said something that was actually true. I mean, at the end of the day, with this one very small point that because like I said, which I'm going to carefully agree with, that this was undeniably fucked up and shouldn't happen. But I'm not going to agree with this guy in total, because they use legitimate grievances and bad things that, Democrat presidents especially have done, or Democrat politicians have done, to sell you fascism. Legitimate grievances, bad political conclusions.
That's essentially it is. Barack Obama granted himself the ultimate power of Führer, able to assassinate and kill any American citizen anywhere in the world at any time under his own decree.
Okay.
Court, no judge,
I see what's going on here. This is just like anti-Obama hysteria. Probably a little bit of racism in here, where he's trying to take this one time, and not just one time. Obama's fucked up a lot on a lot of things where, he did something especially bad. He's like hand wringing. This guy does not give a fuck about human rights abuses or presidents doing extrajudicial executions and shit. Like, for instance, that one guy, the dude that was the Antifa protester that killed the Patriot Front guy, was killed by the police and shit. If I was to go in this room and I was like, what do you think about that, though? You think because President Trump said that they wanted the guy, they wanted him to go get the guy. They didn't even want to arrest him. His rhetoric was kill the guy, not arrest him. And he didn't even really like fire back or was able to grab his. He was like, well, he'd make excuses for that shit. If Trump, did any of the things that he's describing right now, he would make excuses for him. It's like, it's false, it's fake outrage. Again, they use legitimate grievances to sell people fascism. And I really don't think that this guy truly cares about human rights abuses.
Argument.
He only cares in the context that Obama, especially a black Democrat president, did it.
Now here's where it comes into the NDAA. So Donald Trump tweets out, unless they repeal Section 230, I'm going to veto the National Defense Authorization Act. That's crazy. It's really crazy. I mean, repealing Section 230 would destroy the internet. No joke. Like, it would be the end of independent media. Right? CNN would be laughing all the way to the bank because they got lawyers, they can afford it. Now, smaller channels definitely can't. Independent media definitely can't. If 230 goes, this channel won't exist. YouTube will start banning everybody left and right. YouTube would become Netflix overnight, where they sign off on every bit of content, and they want it. So a lot of people said this is Trump's big ask, right? He says repeal 230. That way they walk it down to reform. No, the Democrats, the establishment, the rhinos, the never-Trumpers, they're begging to get rid of 230. Because the only challenge they've ever had is when the people were able to communicate with each other, and they've been desperately trying to ban people. Give them an excuse. So now going back to Obama. Obama signed off on something called the indefinite detention provision. It was added to the National Defense Authorization Act, I think in 2012? Yes. It allows the government to indefinitely detain anybody, anywhere, for effectively any reason, even American citizens. Obama signed that. So now you have, in this country, 80 million people, they say, who voted for Biden, assuming that's, the correct and final.
Probably as a result of social pressure from the war on terror. Plus, Obama is just a milk toast neoliberal. He's right wing by my definition of of a politician. So of course he would sign something like that. He's not like some revolutionary who got into office or a social democrat who's going to up in the system. Otherwise, he would have never been president.
Many of whom don't know anything about the Democratic Party, don't know what Obama was, don't know what Biden was, and now they're cheering
Oh
like
my
we did it. We
God.
defeated fascism. It was like, yes, the fascists who was pulling our troops out of these countries, who was drawing down our started no new wars. Great. Now we're going back to the Obama era.
Yeah, it just boggles my mind.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? What are you talking
about?
about there? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Biden actually left Afghanistan, and we airlifted millions of people out, and we took as many people as we could possibly take with us. So I don't know what the fuck is really being implied here. Biden actually bit the bullet and tried to do the right thing. He got out of Afghanistan. He drew down drone strikes. He got out of Iraq pretty much. Iraq, we've been out of there, but we've been on like special ops for years and shit. But point being is that Biden actually left out of Afghanistan. Trump didn't. He escalated drone strikes. He, not just in Iraq, he like both on verbal, he had an Iranian general killed. He could have, led us into a new war at any motherfucking time. But Biden has been pretty relaxed. Has not been starting any new wars. The U.S. military is not deployed anywhere. He's not barking rhetoric every other fucking day saying that he wants to do this, that, or the other. Things have been calm since Trump has gotten out of fucking office. So this bullshit, I don't know what the fuck y'all even saying.
Trump, a fascist. He's a fascist. Meanwhile, where
Yes.
were you during the Obama administration, where he legally codified assassinating, spying, torturing, killing, executing any American citizen at any time that he wants to? And these are the powers that he gave.
You like, this is that, like I said, legitimate grievances to sell you fascism, because we all know that being a fascist is more complicated than being an authoritarian. You know that, right? And plus, like, if we really want to talk about authoritarianism, you big hot greasy haired dipshit, we can talk about how during Black Lives Matter, Trump literally deployed federal agencies to beat and kidnap civil rights protesters. And with their badge numbers covered and shit, and wanted to invoke the Insurrection Act against protesters. So when you like give me this shit, talking about Obama signed this paperwork to say this, which is bad. Trump did shit directly to American citizens in his 4 years of his presidency. Not to mention, Trump has worked with and actually endorsed hate groups.
Donald Trump, and now there's other people telling Donald Trump, "Hey, use some of these powers. Let's invoke martial law." And it's just. I think
Directive 51.
I think we're being played like a fiddle here. I think it's important to pay attention more than ever. And these issues, especially the Obama administration, we need to revise what happened under Obama, because this is Obama 2.0 / more corporatist of a presidency coming in with Joe Biden.
No, actually, Joe Biden is more progressive than Obama. Obama was way more corporatist than Joe Biden. Especially looking at it at the time of this recording, like Thursday, September 14th, 2023, all the legislation that Joe Biden has passed to help workers and unions actually fight for the power, the lack of interventionism that he's had, except in the railroad strike, the way that he's allowing people to collectively bargain for their wages and their rights as workers and not intervene, put his thumb on the scale like that piece of shit Ronald Reagan or Trump probably would have had, makes him a very progressive and pro-labor president. Not to mention the fact he's drawn down, like I said, drone strikes, has not started any new wars, introduced things like the child tax credit, attempting to address climate change and actually talking about it as it's a real thing and not fucking ignoring it, denying it. Joe Biden, by anybody's metric, is way more progressive than Obama, because Obama said climate change probably won't get that bad. Joe Biden said it can get bad and we must actually do something. The amount of things that he can actually do is limited to who's in Congress and who's in the Senate. But at the end of the day, Joe Biden has done a few things, not even just a few small things. He literally lifted, like millions of children out of poverty thanks to the child tax credit. and enabled people to actually, put food on the table, get that new car, and do whatever else that they had to fucking do. So this bullshit about Obama somehow being more progressive than Joe Biden, you lost your mind.
And Joe Biden, who argued that there should be more corporate lobbying inside of the White House, not less.
When did he say that?
So that's the major disagreement that Obama had with Biden. Biden wanted more.
You sure this wasn't the other way around?
Something interesting is going to happen. In their desperation, the establishment tried to activate as many people as possible to vote. So I'm talking to my friends now, and they're like, I know this guy. He posted a picture of himself voting. He's grabbing the mailbox, mail-in ballot, and he was like, "You got to vote for Biden."
Whoa, you got friends? Like what? This son of a bitch somehow has friends, bro. Especially left-leaning or liberal friends. Get the fuck out of here.
And everybody, and so I, challenged him a bit, like, why? And he's like, Trump is undermining our democracy and said all these things. And then I just went through a list of Obama-era, policies where Biden was the VP.
What the fuck kind of, dude? What type of, false equivalency shit is that? What are you talking about, bro? Trump is directly lying about the election. He put in cronies into the Department of Justice and other institutions and judges that would, probably side with him. He fucking flipped the Supreme Court to be mostly right-wing. And the only thing you have to say for yourself is, well, about 10 years ago, Obama did these couple things. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I don't know about supporting all that. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention back then. And I was like, so will you acknowledge you voted in a guy who oversaw his brother and family getting rich?
And then at the end of the day, the problem with Joe Biden and Barack Obama, we can talk about neoliberalism or liberalism, but the answer to it is not fascism. It's not voting in somebody who's trying to be a dictator, somebody who went to court, several fucking courts, trying to make the argument that he legitimately won the election. Somebody that's in court now for fraud and and attempting an insurrection against the United States government. Get the fuck out of here. Somebody who violated the Civil Rights Act to have everybody's vote counted fairly. Him demonizing mostly black cities like Chicago, New York, in Detroit, saying there was a lot of corruption there, while all the fucking mostly white cities somehow and suburbs got a fucking pass. And most of the places that had fucking voter fraud were fucking suburban hellholes in the countryside with country bumpkin dipshits trying to write their dead wife's names on ballots. So get the fuck on, Tim.
Get this equity deal and
not to mention the fact that, hey, Obama might have signed some bills that were anti-democratic thanks to him being just a fucking milquetoast neoliberal, but at least Obama didn't directly endorse, work with, and defend fascist street gangs that want to overthrow the United States government and create a white supremacist police state for all the citizens living in it. At least Obama was not fucking perpetuating rhetoric saying that, we need to support the police. These people fighting for black lives, they're insurrectionists. We need to get the fucking federal police officers out there to beat the shit out of them. At least Obama did not begin fucking spreading rhetoric talking about it's bad to be woke and politically fucking informed so people can vote Republican because they're fucking stupid and uninformed. At least Obama doesn't go around saying that trans people are grooming your fucking children and shit. That bullshit going around now heavy, so that people can feel demonized and isolated against people that are just normal fucking people. So at least, bro, regardless of what bills Obama signed, his rhetoric was not that of a fucking dictator that thought that an election was owed to him.
And now, but here's the point I'm going to make. When you say, where were you when Obama was doing all this? Oh, they were asleep. And you know what? I'm not going to drag them for that. But guess what? If you think I'm going to sit back and Joe Biden gets to come in and start blowing up kids again, blowing up, innocent civilians, 90%, drone striking, and Trump was doing drone strikes too. I criticized him for that.
No, you don't, because if you actually criticize Trump for his fucking drone strikes and warmongering, he increased drone strikes after Obama and created a more except against Russia for reasons, obviously, but except against Russia, his militant stance against other powers was more steadfast than Joe Biden's was. And he increased drone strikes. Joe Biden drew them down to the point where we barely are doing any.
gonna hold these people figuratively to the flame. I'm gonna be like, wow, you supported this. This is great. So tell me now, how do you feel about these kids?
Yeah, Trump not only supported and continued.
It's bad either way. The problem at the end of the day is addressing United States imperialism and our overblown, military and defense budget. That's the things that need to happen, but that won't happen if you vote in fascist.
The provision that made the reporting of them not existent. So we still don't know exactly what Donald Trump did because he got rid of that. But one of the videos that I'm most proud of that I did before was during a presidential election where I went up to random people and I read off Obama's policies, but I told them that they were Mitt Romney's policies. And I'm like, Mitt Romney wants to assassinate American citizens. Mitt Romney wants to spy on you. Mitt Romney wants to torture American citizens. And
Yes, Republicans more so than Democrats want to do all these things. Yes, the answer is yes.
Romney was
and
licking
all of
Obama's
the people that are interviewed, I was like, this is Romney. And then they're like, this is horrible. We got to stop it. We got to fight him. And of course, these are all Barack Obama supporters. And then at the end of the video, I'm like, well, actually, I got to be honest with you. I lied to you. These weren't the policies of Mitt Romney. These are the policies of the guys you're voting for and supporting. And
but there's still, it's just tribalism, man.
Yeah.
It's all
party politics, tribalism, the divide and conquer agenda.
But what is your see? This is that fake populism. So what is the answer? What is the answer then? If the answer is not neoliberal politicians, there has to be some politicians that are further to the left, some politicians that are more radical. And at the end of the day, people vote Democrat for harm reduction. People don't vote Democrat because they think it's going to be some type of fucking workers' revolution. They understand that Democrat politicians are going to fuck up. They're going to vote on and support things that we disagree with. But we vote Democrat anyway because at least sometimes they give us a fucking bone. And Republicans actively take away things that we need and make shit worse. So like, whatever. Don't forget the Patriot Act and all the fucking hysteria that we see nowadays about spying on people was started by George W. Bush. And Obama just continued this culture because he inherited a country, or at least a legislature, frightened and shaken by 9/11. So I'm not going to say that, things like the Patriot Act or anything having to do with whatever the fuck they're talking about that has to do with spying on American citizens or whatever is a good thing. But I feel that these situations are more complicated than what they're saying to you. So again, I guess we're at the end of the video, man. I don't really want to hear nothing else. I'm low-key getting bored. But always beware of fake populism, aka right-wing populism. Because right-wing populism is just fascism.